Airbrushing a bait is a very tricky thing, and that's why there's no better person to explain that than this guy right here. You know him.
What's up, fellas?
So we're starting off by shooting a 7.5-inch PreyBait, and we're using that because it's a big canvas to work with to do, getting lots of detail on the bait. And we're shooting in a medium hard blend of plastic.
I feel like one of those ladies on a game show. Like I'm churning the letters, you know?
You're Vanna White.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend topping off the sprue on the 7.5. It is a deeper sprue, but that thing is a big body bait. It's like over 3 ounces of plastic. It really sucks plastisol down from the sprue, so make sure you top it off and watch it. It'll get bubbles.
Mold time. So that mold was a little dirty. Somebody was dusting it with some orange powder on the fins up here, and it's in the bait now. So what we're gonna use is Co-Lure Coat 2.0 by LureWorks. It's water-based soft plastic paint, which is pretty much unheard of, but that's what this is.
For setting up your workstation, he has a picture of what he's gonna work on and this little phone holder right above where he's working so that you can easily, see what you're working on and get a replica.
I'm painting a crappie. We're gonna have some light greens. I have a highlight green. Those are really cool. For some reason, they have really, really cool color paints for the water-based soft plastic paints. This is a highlight green. I got like highlights reds. There's pearlized, there's flat colors, of course. Yeah, enough explanation. I'm just gonna paint. So I made this little doohickey. It's just a wire, and I bend it on the end so I can stick it in here and stir the crap out of it. That's important with these paints. They really hard pack. Is that the word, hard pack?
Yeah.
Where the hard stuff settles on the bottom, so stir your paints.
Is there like an order of operations you should be working in when painting something like this?
That gets to be kind of artistic. So like you're thinking, what's the first color I should put down?
Yeah.
And if there's a big blotch of a color on a fish, you put that color down first. And if you see any colors on top of that, you have to visualize it in order and build those layers. So highlight green, you look at this, it's pretty green. A lot of green. There's some dark greens too, but you don't need to put the dark green in. You can just put some black in for the low lights and stuff like that. But I'm thinking the first color should be green. It's just a personal decision.
Starting with a clear bait, which will be really cool. I don't think I've seen an airbrushed clear bait.
Yeah. Can you see the highlight effect?
No, I cannot
You
see
can't see it at all.
So it's pretty highlight out there, but I can't. Oh yeah, I can see it. Okay.
You guys see it. This is like a lightsaber. The core of it's white, and then the outside of it's the color of the lightsaber. But do you ever notice a lightsaber, the core is white? That's what a highlight color is like. So if you add black or white to a highlight, you see it more. That's a good explanation, actually.
I like that.
Next color, gold. I have to stir it still, but here's my plan. I'm gonna go with gold and use a stencil. Stencils are amazing. It's a whole nother way of painting baits. You don't have to cut your own. You can buy really nice ones like this online. Forgot the place. But anyway, stencils. I'm gonna go with gold and lay in a really blotchy, this stencil's pretty cool because there's different sizes and shapes and they're everywhere. So you make it look real blotchy with some gold, and I'm gonna come back in with a smaller stencil and make the crappie spots over the top of that. It should end up looking really natural because you're using layers of natural dots and shapes and stuff like that.
Like when you're out in the wild, nothing's like straight, hard edges, hard lines. It's all flowing.
Yeah.
Elegant flowing.
Yes. The wild is flowy. This one sprays a bit better. Like you can see the color when you spray it. The highlights, you can't see the color immediately. And so, soft plastics are squishy and they're kind of hard to deal with, and you're putting stencils on them and trying to make it perfect. But you use the technique where you keep one end down, you keep the other end down, and if you're working with a nice gradual curve like that, the whole thing will just be right where you want it to be when you're shooting.
So to speed up the drying or curing process, he's using a heat gun, being really careful not to melt.
Very careful.
Yeah, very careful not to melt the plastic.
But it is so nice not to wait for drying between colors, because you can get really impatient doing this sort of stuff. As you watch your bait come to life, it gets really, you know, you feel it. It's where the magic happens, fellas. I'm putting the black crappie dots on this. We have our green, we have our gold. Last layer on the body to bring all this together. And I'm gonna fade it out when it gets close to the belly. I'm gonna put the black dots with the small stencil on here. But I'm not just gonna hold my brush back and paint. If you look at a crappie, it's not straight bars up and down, but it's like do. It's going everywhere. So I'm gonna try to go everywhere like this in a line across the whole body to get the effect. The back, you can do that, because the dots are all along the back, of course, but when you come down, make it random. Why is it so loud? Okay, moment of truth.
Oh yeah.
It's a little more random than just plastering it all over.
Right.
And I'm gonna come back in with black on the top here and give it the natural bait fish look, where it's dark on the top, light on the bottom.
Added a little more black to the back and the tail and the sides. And now he's just drying it off quick to get it ready to paint the other side and move on to the next color.
Fish are darker towards the head, almost always too. It gives it a natural look when you get it darker towards the head a little bit and on the gills. All right, last color I'm thinking is white. We are ending with white on this bait. I'm just gonna stick to the belly, the very, very tip of the belly, and I'm gonna come up this gill a little bit.
Woo!
That looks good. I'm kind of proud of that, fellas.
That's really like insane what you can do with paints on soft plastics like this.
Eyeball.
Eyeballs!
That really brought it together.
Yeah, that really did.
I'm Vanna White still.
Vanna White here in the building. And there you have it, a beautifully made bait in probably about 20 minutes, plus about 10 years of, how many years?
Like 9.
9 years of experience, and there you go. If you combine that along with a dual or triple color injection, it's literally, I mean,
That gets intense.
that's gonna be intense.